Hi guys, welcome to today's video and welcome to today's pattern making classes online. In my last video, I showed you how to create a bustier princess dart manually. So you can go ahead and go watch that video. It will give you an understanding on how we are going to create a bustier princess dart digitally. Today, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create the same bustier princess dart, but we're going to do it digitally, and we're going to be using a completely free online CAD pattern drafting software called Pattern Maker Pro. If you're new to Pattern Maker Pro, or you just came across my channel or across this video, I would advise you to go and watch other videos on my channel where I introduced you to Pattern Maker Pro. If you're interested in learning how to draft patterns digitally, just like this one, you need to start from the beginning, because if you're coming here, it will look strange and complicated for you. If you go to my channel, I have a lot of videos where I talked about how to do your patterns digitally. I have how you can create your basic body block here, the back and front, how you can create sleeves digitally, and in all, I'm using Pattern Maker Pro. And I have a video where I introduced you to Pattern Maker Pro right here. So the very first thing you need to do, once you've landed on Pattern Maker Pro, first of all, this is my account. You need to have an account with Pattern Maker Pro to be able to do this. If you're new to my channel and you don't know anything about Pattern Maker Pro, I have a lot of videos that I will link below this video introducing you to Pattern Maker Pro so that you know exactly what you can do with Pattern Maker Pro. But in this video, as I said, I'm going to be showing you how you can create a bustier princess dart using Pattern Maker Pro. And we are going to be using the instructions from my last video where I actually show you how to create a bustier princess dart from your basic body block. And that's exactly what we are going to be doing here. But this time around, we are going to be using this completely free online pattern drafting software. So once you get to Pattern Maker Pro, you just scroll down and we are going to go to the pattern catalog. And we are going to look for a body sloper that has a waist dart. Body sloper with waist dart. So we are going to be using this one. So I'll click on it. You can decide to use the one that you created yourself. I have a video where I show you how to create this, your basic sloper from scratch using this Pattern Maker Pro. I'll also link that video under this video. So once you click on that, all you have to do is to add to basket. And once you've added to basket, you come down here and get your measurement set. If you don't know how to add a measurement set here, I also have a video where I show you how to do your measurements and how to upload it on Pattern Maker Pro. So I'm choosing this measurement set that I already have. And then you scroll down and then we are going to go to the fashioner, because that's what we are going to be using to be able to transform this basic body block to a bustier princess dart. Now this is what it looks like. This is a basic body block. This is the front and this is the back. As you can see, it's very, very busy. So what we are going to do, I'm going to remove all these circles around it so that we'll be able to work with it without any kind of interruptions. The very first thing we need to do here, as you can see, there are a lot of geometry circles all around. To be able to work on this, we need to remove all these circles. so that we can, be able to work clearly. So to do that, you just go to layers, add layer, and then I want to add a layer, select a parent for the new layer. I'm going to select fashioner layout. Then I'm going to just put the hide layer. I'll call it hide layer. And I'll save it. And then I'll go back to layers again, and I will see copy items to new layer. I'll click on that, select one or more items to copy. So that is when we are going to copy all this to the new layer. Even the sewing allowance, we are going to copy it to the new layer. So what you have to do, you just come around. Sometimes it doesn't really show, but I'll try and make it see. So once you get to layers, you click on move items to existing layer, not this one. Move items to existing layer. Now it will tell you to select items to move. So what you do, you just try to highlight all these things that you want to move. Once it turns yellow like that, you click on it, it will turn red. That means it's going to be moved. So that's what we are going to do with everything. We are going to highlight what we are going to move, and then we are going to move it to that layer that we just created. This is going to take a little time, so I'll just pause the video and then we'll come back and we'll continue. So once we are done with selecting all that we need to remove, then I can always select this one too. Once we're done with selecting all that we need to move, including the seam allowance, if you notice here, I've selected also the seam allowance. Everything in red is what I want to move to the layer that we created, which is the hide layer. So once you're done with selecting everything, you just click on continue, and that is the hide layer. Items have been moved to hide layer. Then you save it. But you can see the thing is still there. So for us to make sure it's not there, you just go back to layers again, go to layer visibility, and then we'll click on hide layer. And you see that everything is removed. See, I missed this. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this one, even though it really doesn't matter. But I'll go ahead and remove this and remove this and remove all this that is remaining. So now our pattern is completely clean. We've removed all that we need to remove. Before you go ahead and do anything to it, we're now going to go to File, and we're going to do a Save State. The reason I'm doing this is that this is what I'll be using to do every other kind of style that I want to do. So I don't want to come back and start removing all those things again. So I'll save it in this state and have it as a copy so that whenever I want to come and do any other style, I can use this style. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it basic block with that. Save state. Then I'll just write today's date. Today is 20th 12. I'll just write there. So I'll now basic block with that save state, and then I will just save it. So I'll have a copy of this, somewhere, so that when I want to use it again, I can use it. The very first thing we need to do is to find the center point of our arm curve. We are going to find the center point, and to do that, we'll go to Points, Add Point, Split Curve. So it's going to tell you to select a curve. I'm going to select this. I'm going to continue. And you see, to split it into two equal parts, 4.2, 4.2. And then we are going to save it. Of course, I'll do the same thing to the back. I'll do the same thing to the back. Select it, continue, and then we'll save it. So it has split this curve into two. Now, this here is our bust point. And from here to here is my bust bust span. So remember your bust span is from your nipple to nipple divided by 2. So if I measure here to here, it will give me 4 inches. Because my nipple to nipple is 8 inches, so it will give me 4 inches. At the back, this is the one at the back. At the back, it will give me 3.5 inches. To be sure of that, all you have to do is to go to utilities, go to distance between points, and then you can select the points, to be able to measure it. Bust, calculate. See, it's 4 inches. So that is my bust span. So we cancel that. I just wanted to show you how to measure that if you want to be sure that everything is correct. So now we are going to get our under bust level. Your under bust level is normally 4 inches from your bust level. This is the bust level. We are going to measure 4 inches downwards. And to do that, we are going to go back to points. We are going to add point from points. We are going to click this point and we are going to continue. Remember, it's Y position because you're going this way. So we are now going to add 4 inches. And then we are going to enter. And that is my 4 inches right there. And we are going to save it. Remember, if you watch my video doing this manually, if you're going to cut under the bust, you don't cut exactly under the bust point. You have to add 2 inches to do your cut. So these 2 inches will be your cut line. So we are going to do the same thing. We are going to add points from points, and we are going to click on this point, and we are going to continue, and we are going the same Y direction, but this time 2 inches. And we are going to enter, and that is the 2 inches, and we are going to save. So this here is going to be our cut line. So now we've done that, let us now demarcate all these points by putting a reference line that will run across the front and the back. So to do that, we go to lines, add reference line. We are going to say select start point. We'll select the first one. And we are going to continue. It's going to be a horizontal line. We are going to continue. So we are going to do that, save, do that for this and this. So I'll quickly do that. Add reference line. I select this one, that is my under bust, continue, it's horizontal, continue, and save. The same thing for the last one, which is our cut line. It's going to be this one, continue, horizontal, continue, save. So now I have all the reference lines on the back and on the front. So what we are going to do now is, from this center split, if you're cutting a princess that is supposed to come like so, where you have this piece and this piece. But for you to get the bustier that, princess that, what you need to do first, we are going to add 0.5 inches up, and we're going to add 1 inch down. I repeat, 0.5 up, 1 inch down. So, but I cannot use this point to point because this is not a straight line. It's a curve. So what we are going to now use to be able to find this 0.5 position on this curve is that we are going to go to shapes, and we are going to add a circle. And we are going to give it, select one or more points for the placement. We are going to select this point that splits it into 2, and we are going to continue. Remember, we need 0.5 inches. So here I'm going to put 0.5 and I'm going to enter. And that's our circle. And we are going to save. So now we are going to get this point here by going to point. add point at intersection, and then we are going to highlight the two things that we want to intersect, where we are going to get our point. So those two things, so this is where we want the point, so we are going to continue, and there we have our 0.5, and we are going to save it. We are going to do the same thing for the bottom part. You know, we need 1 inch for the bottom part. Just keep following me, then you see why we are doing all those things. We go back to shape, we add circle, we are going to the same place, highlight it, continue, then this way we need 1.0 inches, enter, and that is the second circle. We are going to save it, and then we are going to add points again at intersection. So we are going to highlight this, and we are going to highlight this particular one. We will highlight this particular line because this is where we want our intersection to be. So we are going to continue, and then the point will be saved right there. So now we are done with this point. Remember again, if we are drawing this to meet here, and we are drawing this from here to meet here, so that we have our two pieces to form the princess dart. If you are going to join this to this, it will not be equal. This is going to remain. So to be able to equalize this, we are now going to add 1 inch here before we now draw our curve to meet this bust point. So to do that, you know that it's not going to be exactly a straight curve. To be able to get that using Pattern Maker Pro, we are going to go and do what we call a line on vector. You know we cannot join these two together without this extension of 1 inch. If we do that, the two pieces will not join well together. So we need to extend the bottom piece by at least 1 inch. How do you do that? First, you go to lines, add reference line, and then we are going to select the start of the reference line. You know we have two lines. We select that one, we click on continue, and then we are going to click on vector. And when we do that, we click on continue, and then select vector point. Since we are going to go in this direction, we are going to select this point, and then we click on continue, and that is our line, and we save it. So now we are going to look for a way to be able to create a point on this line that is 1 inch from that point. Now I've added all the points that I need before we start drawing our curve. I decided to do it offline because I don't want this video is getting too long, but I'm going to explain what I did. First, I created at a 1 inch from this point, a 1 inch from this point that is going to extend this particular section by 1 inch, so that when we are sewing this together, it will match. One will not be longer than the other. And to do that, I use the same method of creating a shape, a circle, according to the radius that I want to form here. And that is 1 inch. Just the same method I used to do this. It's the same method I used to do this. And then coming down here, I now joined all the points together. This point, this point, this point, this point, to form a line. You know, this is going to form the section, first section of our princess dart. And then from this point, I move towards the side by 2 inches. Now, why do I do that? This is going to form the real bustier curve like so from here is going to come like this, and then it's going to come down here. This distance has to do with your bust size. If you have a bust size between 32 and 35 inches, you move by 1.5 inch. From this, your bust span, you move towards the side by 1.5 inches. If your bust is between 32 and 37 inches. If your bust is between 36 and 40 inches or 41 inches, you move by 2 inches. My bust is 37, that is why I shifted by 2 inches. If your bust is 42 and above, you now move by 2.5 inches. So that's just the difference between all this. So what I'm going to do now, we are now going to draw our curve. But please remember here, this is my under bust line, if you remember. Just place another reference line 0.5 inches from your under bust line. That's because when you're padding your princess bustier, it is good for it to sit very well on your bust. So just move 0.5 inches up. And that is where we are going to draw the curve up to. So now to join the curve, remember the very first, let's do the very first curve. To do that, we'll just go to curves, add curve. Then you add, select start and end point. So the start point for this, our under bustier curve is here. And then I want to first do this one, and then I'll do the second one. I can decide to do all at once, and then just curve it the way I want it. So let me see, maybe I should do that. Let me just do the end, it will be here. And then continue. And I'm going to have a lot of bust points I'm going to use to adjust, at least up to 4. And I'm going to do continue. So you see. So now we are going to be using this to adjust, to make our curve very curvy. Just make it as curving as you can. At least let it reach this point. So just make it as curving as you can. Okay, I think that looks curvy enough. So good, that is the curve for that. And then we're now going to add another curve from here to create another curve right to here. So we'll now save that. And then we'll go to curves again, add curve, select start and end point. So it's going to start from here once again, and it's going to end here. And I'm going to make it 2 curves points because it's not so long. So now I'm just going to adjust this to come and meet up with this. Adjust it to meet up. So it's going to be, I say it's going to be something like that. It meets up with the former curve. So you see the way our curve has come out. And this here has come down here. Can curve it a little bit more. Good. Then we are going to save it. And then of course we are going to extend this line to this place. So we are going to go to lines, add multiple points, and we are going to add this, and this. Continue. Save. Okay, so we've gotten the first bustier curve. So let's do now the second one. So now the second one, we are also going to go to curves, add curve, and this time we are starting from here to here. And then continue. And then the curve points, I'm going to make it 4 too, I think. Continue. So we're now going to curve it. Exactly. So that's how this is going to look. The curve is going to come like that and go down up to here. And this other curve is going to come like that and curve and then blend down here. So that is, I think we are almost done. I think we're almost done. Okay. So we finally come to the end of this video, and then the last thing I want to show you before I end this video, because it's getting too long, is to ensure that these 2 inches you remove here, whether it is 2 inches, whether it is 1.5, whether it is 2.5, please also add it here at this cut point. You add it here, and then of course you draw from the armhole to that particular point. So this is how you're going to cut this section. You cut it like so, goes like so, comes down here, and that is the one part of your bustier, and then this is the second part of your bustier. I'm going to leave it like this because in my next video I'm going to work on the back, and then we are going to remove all the things we don't need, and then we are going to print it out in PDF, and then I'm going to measure it on my body to see the fitting and show it to you. So with this, I've come to the end of this video. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you try your hands on creating your bustier princess dart digitally. I have tried my best to be as slow as possible, but if you watch the video several times, you'll be able to, get used to it. And the more you use Pattern Maker Pro, the more you get used to all the things that you're supposed to use to create your very own patterns and your very own PDF styles. Thank you for watching. Till next time in my next video.